meow, meow. What's going on, everybody? Listen to this. On Tuesday, we went 16 out of 18 on line item straight, different wagers. Some were plus, some were minus, this, that. But on 16 different line items that we wagered, some in parlays, some straight, 16 out of 18 things that we decided might happen, we got 16 out of 18 things. 16 right, 2 wrong. I decided to do this video series, and on Wednesday, in our first episode, we made 4 picks, and we went 3 of 4. At this point, we are 19 out of 22, and within this series, by going 3 of 4, what we also did, the way that money was laid out, is that we took 4 units, a unit that was bet on each of the wagers, and because we went 3 out of 4, we turned 4 units into about 4.383 units. So we made about, what's up, Smiley Gamer? Welcome back. We are back again, and I'm telling the people how on Wednesday, in our first installment of Quintessential Sports Betting, we did go 3 out of 4, and we did bring your 4 units up to 4.383. We did go up about 9.5% in gains. However, after going 16 of 18 before we did this video series on Tuesday, and then once we started the video series after going 3 out of 4 on Wednesday and being 19 out of 22, yesterday with episode 2, we came up not just short, but blank. We got obliterated and decimated. 0 of 4. We got wiped because we did bet all of our units, and we start over today. If you're doing $10 units, we are starting back up on a reload with 5 units and 5 bets today, so this would be an investment of $50. Don't worry, we are keeping track as a series from the beginning, so I do know that we have lost 4 units so far because 4 units went to 4.383, but then that with yesterday's 0 for 4 went to 0. We are keeping that in mind, but we are reloading, we are resetting, and we are starting fresh with a new 5 units. If you're doing $10 each, great. If you're doing $1 each, $5 each. If you're doing 20, 25, 50, or 100, whatever you're doing. Generally, to keep it simple, for the purposes of this video series, we're going to call a unit $10. So if you're reloading, you'd be reloading for $50 if you're going to be using 5 units, which is what this episode today for Friday, April 29th, is all about. With your first unit, the Blue Jays pitcher Kikuchi, you are going to put 1 unit on Kikuchi going under 4.5 strikeouts in today's game against the Astros. You are putting 1 unit on Kikuchi, the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, going under 4.5. He's been coming in under so far this season. I think he's had 3 starts already. They are in the area of 2, 3, 4. I can absolutely see him getting 4 today. I can see him getting 3. I see him doing okay. It's tougher, man, these days. Starting pitchers, just strikeouts over the course of your lifetime. Imagine if you've been a fan since you're a kid and it's now decades later and you're watching the games and you're realizing that starting pitchers just in general stay in the game a whole lot less. And it seems like, even if it's not true, it seems like guys used to get to a pitch count of 105 or 110 before they'd get yanked. It seems like a starting pitcher would always, as long as they weren't getting smoked, go into the 7th or 8th inning. And it seems like lately pitchers are getting pulled closer to sometimes 80, 90. Average pitch count definitely down in the last 20 or 30 years. And it seems like a lot of starting pitchers sometimes don't get 7 or 8 innings of work, even when they're pitching well. And sometimes this comes up as a sticking point, but we'll talk more about it. But long story short, for today, even though he's come in under, and even though he's somewhat underperformed a bit, if you're a Kikuchi fan, you think he's due. You think there might be regression. You think if he's got 2, if he's got 3, if he's got 4 in his 3 starts, why wouldn't he get 5 or 6? And an argument can be made. But I like him at about 4, and therefore with his over-under for strikeouts today being 4.5, I am taking the mild minus money, and I am going with Kikuchi under 4.5. 3 of the remaining 4 bets today are all in the big one. I see the big one as being the NBA postseason game, the playoff game, between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And since when could a Timberwolf ever take out a Bear? Just, no, I'm kidding. But seriously, Memphis in 6. I like the Grizzlies tonight. So I've got the Grizzlies also mild favorites, also mild minus money. I've got a money line bet on the Grizzlies outright, no spread, not giving a 1.5, money line to win the game outright. I've got the Memphis Grizzlies. In that game, 2-player performance bets. I've got Ja Morant, and I've got him for points, rebounds, and assists. So that's the triplex. That's the combo. That's the PRA. If you see that bet in your sports book, his over-under for PRA tonight was earlier in the day pretty high. It was 44.5. It wound itself down. Last time I looked, about a half an hour ago, it was at about 43.5. I'm taking a bit of an alternate. I want a safe one. I want to know that we're not going to get blanked out like we did yesterday. I want to hit at least 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 of these 5 bets. We need any port in the storm 3 out of 5 will be profitable on our 5 units the way we have it spread out. With that said, I like Morant to overperform. I'm taking him on an over, but I'm not taking him over the 44.5 that I've seen or the 43.5 that I've also more recently seen. I'm taking him over 41.5. I believe that points, rebounds, and assists, all told, all accumulated, and all combined, I believe he is going to get 42. Ice cream truck, baby. Yes, Smiley Gamer, ice cream truck did come through. Yes, I like him for 42, 43, 44 for sure. PRA, I don't know if I would take him over 44.5. 44.5 is tough for anybody, even with the title on the line, baby. Even when it's time, baby. Even knowing you got to get it done on the road, baby. Even when it's time to close it out, baby. Even when you've underperformed a bit and your fans are looking at you, baby. No matter what the case may be, I've looked at his stats for the regular season, for the postseason, on the road against Minnesota. I've looked at all of his stats, and not to say he can't do 45 or more, but as far as my betting money, after again getting wiped out yesterday and reloading for 5 units today, rather than 44.5 to 43.5, I would take him over, but I would take him over 41.5. Smiley Gamer's like, beach it, baby. On the other side, though, also think I like Edwards. I like him for 23.5 points. We're going over with him, but we're going over on points. So I'm talking about Ant-Man. I like Ant-Man for about 24 is fair. It all depends on how the game goes. There's a couple of different models. It's going to be a pretty high-scoring affair. Right now, the over-under is set at about 229.5. And last I looked, it was even money. It was minus 110, whether you take the over or the under. So the sports book is projecting that the team totals for both teams are going to add up to be about 229 or 230 points. So they're not looking at this one as like a 98-94 affair. So there's going to be some scoring, is what's projected. And if there's some scoring, this is part of the reason why I like Ja for over 41.5 on playmakers, on points makers, points, rebounds, assists. And also I like Ant-Man. I think I didn't take him on an alternate. I took him at his standard book over-under, which for points was set when I saw it, and took it at 23.5. I liked it. I think he's going to have a good game, win or lose, and I like him for over 23.5. So far we've got Kikuchi under 4.5 strikeouts. And then in basketball tonight in Memphis, Minnesota, we've got the Grizzlies up money line. We've got Ja Morant over. You're going for an alternate here. Go into your book. Don't pull them up just first PRA and take the first thing you see. Go to his alternate PRA and take Ja Morant, not necessarily for his regular spread, whatever it is right now, 44.5, 43.5. Take him for his alternate PRA, a little bit lower at 41.5. That's a surer bet. That should close. And then we like Ant-Man for 23.5 plus points, over 23.5. Calling it right down the middle, Daddy. You know it, Smiley Gamer. So we like Ant-Man over 23.5. So that's 4 bets right now, a unit each. The 5th one, this is the crazy one, because this morning I said to myself, you know what, we got wiped. We're at 0, we're reloading. We're going to have 5 brand new units. If it's $10 each, we lost $40 since the beginning of this series. Now we're putting 50 more in. Maybe we should only go minus money on everything. And maybe we should do one of those. Sometimes I'll live to be like, minus 3,000. Minus 2,000, minus 500. And sometimes when it's like that, I'll even parlay 3 of them, 4 of them, 2 of them, whatever. But sometimes when I'm down, just different depending on the vibe, depending on the market, the sport, the game. I like to go minus bets and just kind of know that I have the sure money, which of course is never sure. To begin with, you'll get beat on a minus 350 just as soon as you'll get beat on a minus 3,000, just as soon. Not necessarily, obviously, mathematically, just as soon as you'll get beat on plus money, but to say it does happen. However, having said all that, the 4 bets that we have in are minus money. They are favored bets. Some of them are pretty mild. Minus 110, minus 120. Not locks, not sure things, not done deals, but they are all kind of minus money. And I do believe that out of the 4 bets that I've told you so far, the 1 baseball and the 3 basketball, I do believe at least 3 will hit. I think it'll be 3 out of 4. I think then the likelihood goes to either 2 or 4 out of 4, and then whatever's left over, the more likelihood 4 or 2 out of 4. But we're not getting blanked on these, I don't think. Yesterday's 4 bets, 2 were plus money, 2 were minus money. I did not expect to get killed on the 2 minuses. I did not expect to get killed on all 4. But having said that, and being safe, and again knowing that any 3 out of 5, the way the money is laid, so even if the 3 most favored hit, the 3 mildest minus, we would still be up 3 or 4% on the day on our 5 units. So knowing that any 3 of the 5, even 3 out of the 4 most minus of the 4 minuses, any 3 out of 5 helps us. Knowing that, going a little bit crazy with this last unit. A lot of people aren't going to see this one. I get it. A lot of people are going to disagree with this one. I get it. And if you want to pull this one out and not bet this one, that's fine. If you still want to bet 5 units and you don't want to employ this one, you can bet the other 4 at $1.25 each, $12.50 each, whatever your unit is, whatever you want to do. But if you're willing to get a little bit crazy and realize that this is not stock trading, which we also do here on the channel, where you're buying shares, you're buying options. Here, this is gambling. And as such, I want to make sure that I'm going to be a little bit in the money, and I want to be protected. I want to cover myself, and I want to have some sure things. Again, nothing's a sure thing. So I want to have the bets that I've already put in, but I also want to be able to, if I win something, win something. And you can only do that with minus money. The Dodgers. Are they going to lose to Detroit? I'm thinking there's a chance. I'm wishing the line was juicier than it is. I took it at plus 200. As somebody who took it, I'd love to be getting closer to plus 250. But I took plus 200 money line with no runs, with no spread, with no points. I took outright the 6 and 12 Detroit Tigers to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. I believe they're 12 and 6. They are coming off of a couple losses. I don't believe the Dodgers lose every game, and I don't believe that Detroit is always going to be the team to take them out. But I just have a feeling, I'm going by vibe, I'm going by some of the DD, I'm going by somebody who thinks that they saw something, they see a sign, they know something, and they believe that there is a chance that it's worth your while to go plus 200 on Detroit. And again, only because we only need 3 of our 5 bets to hit, and it can be any 3. I'm so confident, at the very least confident enough, that 3 of the other 4 will hit, that I am willing to put 1 unit at plus 200 to get 3 times my stake. So whatever you bet, you get twice as much back on top of it, plus 200. And I'm doing that money line for the Detroit Tigers tonight. Kikuchi, under 4.5 strikeouts. Memphis Grizzlies, money line. Ja Morant, over 41 and a half, not 43 and a half. Make the bet for over 41 and a half. Player combo, points, rebounds, assists. Ant-Man, Minnesota, over 23 and a half points. And the Detroit Tigers money line, believe it or not, to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers on this beautiful late April Friday, April 29th, 2022. Good luck, run it, cash it, catch the cheese, throw the chalk up in the air, and make it rain.